Hey y'all, Andrew Reed with Mossy Creek Mushrooms. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we are live now. So, it is me, your host, Andrew Reed, Mossy Creek Mushrooms, MushRune Cast, and joined today by the production cam, which is not plugged up. It's amateur hour again. All right. So, now, let's try that again. There they are, Samantha and Charles, working. Hey. So I figure for today, guys, we'll just watch a little bit of production. I'll take your questions, anything that you guys have. I'd like to focus on production if possible. If you guys really have questions you have to ask that are off topic, let's try to save those till later. But for now, guys, glad to have you all on, and good to see everyone here today. So you can see right now that we're just doing block production in the lab. So this is where all the clean work is done. We got Samantha inoculating, sealing, and then handing off to Charles, who's shaking. And let's just get rid of that real quick. And I mean, they're really pumping stuff out. In fact, they actually started production before I got to start the stream, and they've already worked through quite a chunk of it. So hopefully after this, we're going to follow them over to block production over at Thor and do a live stream over there. So it's kind of a mobile live stream, just following the whole process. So again, feel free to throw down any questions you guys have. I'll go ahead and answer the ones that I'm seeing here for the moment while we let some stuff catch up. But so we have, is it okay to use pure malt extract in a liquid form to make LC? If so, could I mix it with Caro syrup and use it instead of a powdered premix? You can. You just have to figure out your sugar ratios and your sugar concentrations. Anything above 4% seems to be lethal to a lot of liquid culture, so just make sure you check on that. Let's see, with the MCM premix, I think you use 20 grams to 500 milliliters. Do you know what kind of ratio I should use if my premix is liquid? I don't know the ratio. Again, you're just going to figure out where it's at, and again, try not to go over 4%. Let's see. What's your experience with grain-based liquid culture? Mine came out dark, which is expected from what I've seen, right? It is, and it's also your cook. So how hard and fast you cook, combined with your ingredients, will cause your material to get dark when it's cooked. Hericium in particular will darken your liquid culture as it ages. Oyster mushrooms will lighten it, but when it first comes out of the autoclave, it oftentimes will be very dark if you're using a malt extract. I prefer dark liquid culture to the really pure ones that you can, like the ones you can see through very easily, the clear ones. The dark ones usually are made with stuff with more nutrition in them. So that's my opinion on that. Is in fact, it's not even my opinion. Lloyd Lung did a study back in the 60s that different sugars and how much mycelial production and whatnot they would have. The ones that produce the best mycelium, I think, were I forgot the name of the sugar again. It's like galactose or something like that. It's a fungal based sugar, but the most common sugar that did well was the malt extract. Malt extract produced more mycelium than any other type of sugar, and the healthiest mycelium with best enzyme production. So Lloyd Lung did that back in the 60s. So we can definitely look at that. Also, hope you all are doing well. Thanks again for the lives. Absolutely, guys. I'm hoping that this format turns out to be pretty interesting. We might start doing this pretty regularly, where we try to do some live streams at 8 p.m. and then some during the day, so we can kind of move the show around. But I want to keep the interactiveness going, and I really like for you guys to be able to see our processes in action as you see the techniques that we're talking about in use. So, can you please speak on box dimensions you used to use for delivery to restaurants? Actually, I need to, Samantha, What are our box dimensions? Is it 18 by 12 by 10? 18 by 12 by 10 there, Thomas. All right. And hello, my Myco company. Go, there you are. Yep. So yeah, again, guys, sorry we were late. How many grain-to-grain transfers are okay before the mushrooms are affected? So I have not really seen the end of this. It's more of a question of contaminant build over any sort of like transfer amount. If you're the cleaner your technique, the further you can stretch your grain spawn out. So certain species are going to stretch a little bit better than others. If you use it, if you use it, if you use it, certain species will go further than others. Also, certain companies. So, like I've bought from, like if you buy from Lambert's or one of the big companies, Amisil, something like that, they really stretch their spawn out. They go from a little piece of tissue to, you know, a few 100,000 pounds of spawn, that kind of thing that they're then shipping out. I found with Lambert's, like if I ordered from them, I might get 3 transfers grain to grain before everything just kind of really blew up in contamination. Of course, that could have been back then whenever my technique wasn't as good, and 3 transfers was, you know, I guess the best I could do with that spawn at the time. I mean, nowadays we can go forever, but we make almost every grain bag as a master. So when it comes out of liquid culture as a master, we can then just continue to expand it. I mean, you can expand it 10 times and 10 times and 10 times again, and next thing you know, you've got just a ton of spawn going. Do you guys ever have problems with strain degradation? If so, how do you mitigate? David, the best thing to do is to really alternate your strains. Keep them in slants so you keep them young. You can pull them from slants, and that will make... well, let's see. Like if you keep them in slants, you can pull them as a young thing very often. So you can always reset as you need to. We haven't really found that we need to reset too much. Based on like longevity or anything like that. Again, because we sell liquid culture and spawn, we do our resets more often. If you have a strain that is starting to degrade or not perform as well, you can absolutely try to revive it. But basically what you do is you try to force it back on a substrate that forces it to remember how to eat. So you go back to wood, go back to straw. Don't do a supplementation, just force it to grow. And then it will start to produce the enzymes again. Sometimes you can bring a strain back, and sometimes, you know, that's just going to help a little bit, but not ever bring it back to its full glory. So, but sometimes you can. I use your LC formula with Peptone. Excellent, Joe. Just so you know, I stepped down my Peptone usage to about 0.3 grams per 500 milliliters. So, and then we've got a couple other things we add nowadays. But yeah, it's Dr. Solarian's, you know, has got a few additions to it. That's not just Peptone and LC sugars. Kind of off-topic question. Do you ever notice Hericium spawn having a strange smell? It's actually not too off-topic. They're using Hericium today, almost entirely. Checked on agar and there's no contam, but whenever I do grain to grain, there's an odd smell during colonization. So, I don't know what you mean by odd exactly, but I will tell you that Hericium oftentimes gets an astringent smell to me, a bleachy or almost hydrogen peroxide kind of smell. Like it almost smells like a cleaner. That could be because Hericiums actually do produce a fair amount of hydrogen production, or hydrogen peroxide, not hydrogen production, hydrogen peroxide like substances in their metabolites. So that might be what's causing your kind of hot smell. They definitely can get in liquid culture, they can get very alcohol smelling or very astringent. So, let's see what else we've got here, guys. Okay, here we go. Noob question, but do you have to sterilize each block or just the substrate? Each block is the best way to go. If you look there, each one of these blocks, whenever Samantha brings one on, will be kind of self-sealed from the autoclave. You can see that one that she's got right there is kind of still of a brick format with the one she just tossed the spawn in. You can see she gives it a little squeeze, and then she puts air in the bag, comes over and seals it. And seals it. And then she'll pass it off to Charles, where he'll shake it up, break up the substrate, and then mix the grain in. And you can see the clumps, like with the soy and the hardwood. The soy is kind of a green color, the hardwood's the chocolatey brown. And you can see that we don't mix that from our bagger. We mix our substrate right now. Like Charles is mixing the substrate and the spawn in at the same time. So that's how we were able to get rid of an entire step. So, yes, you do need to sterilize or pasteurize. You don't have to sterilize. Pasteurization works fine. But I do prefer sterilization. Loving the live. This is great. I've just started my farm, and this will help me out for the future. Excellent. That's exactly what we want. We want to definitely help you guys out. Speaking of seeing your production methods, the top mount for the sealer is pure genius. Well, I can't take credit for that. That was actually Ben Erickson of Man of War. He kind of came in and we showed him the problem we were having, and he just, as Ben does with 2x4s, just 2x4 construction, and bam, it hangs. Let's see. Oh, guys, the chat has jumped. Sorry I had to step away earlier. Did you answer the liquid malt extract question? I did, actually. It is dark. To answer it short, I actually answered it long, in that it is the darker sugars are the best for mycelial production. These clear sugars like Caro and things like that are just not really necessary. If you're asking about how to do it with liquid form instead of powdered, I don't actually know, but you're gonna stay below 4% sugar. So you'll take the percentage of sugars in your malt extract or whatnot, and then you'll add it to your 500 milliliters of water, and then you'll try not to cross the barrier of 4% sugar. What is the longest you've kept an inoculated LC, not refrigerated, and still been able to grow out? I found a jar of LC inoculated 2 years ago. Mycelium looks okay, no scum or contamination I see. I've kept stuff for 3 or 4 years in like a syringe. We definitely have this. So we had in our old laboratory, a syringe fell behind a shelf, and we didn't know it until we basically were really deep cleaning, and it had stayed there for more than a year. And it was like a year and a half, and when we pulled it out and used it, it worked just fine. So LC can store pretty well. It's just about keeping it clean. My problem with the jars is that the filters could fail eventually, and a failed filter obviously is going to be contaminated LC. Let's see. We have hello from America to Italy. That's definitely the smell I'm smelling. Thank you. Yeah, so that's that bleachy smell. That's from your Hericium, and that's very common. That's a normal smell. Let's see. In fact, we oftentimes I don't know if Samantha's doing it this time, but we'll sniff our spawn, like the air coming out, will kind of puff the bag and smell behind, just to make sure that we're getting the smells we're expecting rather than anything unexpected bacterial. If it smells yeasty, like beer or bread, then it's obviously got yeast in it. If it smells like a dirty diaper, it's usually bacterial. If it has kind of a pleasant smell, it's usually often really good. Mold obviously has kind of a dank smell most of the time, if it's like a black mold especially. So, Joe Campbell, just put it to agar and see if it's clean and grows. Yeah, I mean, I just go ahead and put it to agar or grain and use it. At this point, like, producing a bag is pretty easy and cheap, and it'd be worth the test. And you can basically pull 2 syringes and run one to grain, and then run one to a liquid culture after it's tested clean. I had that smell from a grain bag last week when I was mixing with my substrate. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's pretty common for them. When is the best time to transfer Hericium grain into bulk substrate? You really want bags before they start pinning, and the primordia formation will happen pretty quick with Hericium. I mean, oftentimes like within a week or 10 days. So we try not to let it sit for very long. Hey Samantha, do you have a bag of Hericium over there that's not shaking? Can you kind of hold it up to the camera? Back up just a little bit. Back up. Hold it down. So you can see that that's actually starting to form primordia in it a little bit, those white clumps. And that's a little bit past what I would normally want with Hericium. Thank you, Samantha. It's normally a little bit past what I would want for Hericium, but it's what we have, and we're over spawning tonight, so we're making sure to really cover up these bags. So instead of using 4 bags tonight, we're using 5 bags of spawn, and it's all Tribbles Hericium. Let's see. Got to find my place in the chat again. What material are the bags made of? These are polypropylene, and they are pretty hardy. We get like the thicker. These are XLS-AH for Horizon, I think. Not actually sure. It's our one of our first times using these long filter patches. We haven't really.
HB horizontal.
Yeah, it's H for horizontal, I think. Though I think they call them the Horizons series.
They're just trying to make horizontal sound fancy.
That's exactly right. They're trying to make it sound fancy. But they're polypropylene, and then the filter patch, I can't remember what the material is made of, but it's all autoclavable. Peptone does have a strong smell, Atlas. Peptone smells very, I don't know, like bacteriological, smells a lot like nutritional yeast, or even kind of a cheesy smell. I personally really like the smell. I know a lot of people who really hate it. So it's definitely strong, and it's kind of it's a love or hate relationship with it. No, I have not noticed an improvement with the bigger filter patches yet. Again, this is really early in the process, and so we're trialing these out. I actually accidentally bought these, and that was I figured I'd just go ahead and trial them out and see how they go. I'm actually hoping that for reishi, I want to try all these out for reishi because I think these are going to be a lot better for antler production. I think that they'd be a lot better for cubensis growers who want to do in-bag production rather than monotub or anything like that. So anything that you'd want to fruit in the bag, I think would work really, really well in this system with a more fresh air exchange. Do I need to filter my RO filter my water if I'm on city water? No, I use city water all the time. We never worry about filtering it other than when it goes to the humidifier. We're wanting to filter it before it goes into our boiler, but we don't actually have the filter set up for that right now. But I've not had any problems with hard water and LC. In fact, I can show you guys. 1 second. So these are freshly inoculated yesterday. And you can see all of that on the bottom is sugar and basically hard water. So that is just a lot of sugar and lime. And what I have found is you might be able to see those little dark flecks. Barely perceptible. There it is. Those dark flecks are the needle biopsies I did yesterday. And those dark flecks allow us. Those dark flecks will grow, and they'll look like little jellyfish, and they'll start collecting all of the bits of lime, sugar, and etc. That's in the bottom of that jar. And I don't ever worry about it. That's really the big problem with hard water. But if you think about it, the mushrooms. So a lot of people use pH balancers in their substrates. If you just use regular city water, you usually don't have to do any pH balance because most cities pH balance up their, was it almost an 8, I think. It's like 7.5, 7.6, something. But there you go. Have you had problems with hard water? Oh, making LC. What time are you working at over there? I'm at 21:30. It is 14:30 here. So, or no, 16. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. My bad, not 2 o'clock. I was thinking they would be better for fruiting bag too. Yeah, Jacob, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is that those filter patches are going to work a lot better for in vitro fruiting, and it'll keep stuff clean, which I'm hoping will allow me to get better spore prints as well for different species. When composting spit blocks, you ever add anything to the pile or just let it be? Well, Prada, I will sometimes add a nitrogen source. Used to, I would buy a bag of urea from the farmer's co-op, and then, I had a 50-pound bag for years, and I would just, anytime I knew it was going to rain, I'd go out there and just, sprinkle a little bit of that urea on top of our pile and let the rain dissolve it and bring that nitrogen down into the pile. That's really about the only thing I've added. Nowadays, we are adding rabbit poop. However, the snow melt caused the snow to crush our rabbitry, so the rabbits lived, but the cages did not, and I don't think we're going to rebuild it. So we're going to find another nitrogen source to work with, and it may just be going back to a bag of urea, and then sprinkling that over our composters that we're building. Just that's the best way I can think of. Do you guys work with double extraction? How do you do them? So we have worked with double extraction before, just alcohol and hot water. We haven't done it in a while. We are thinking about restarting and doing a tincture line or an extract line ourselves. It's not something that we're necessarily doing, but we're definitely talking about it. If we do it, we'll be doing a triple extraction. I bought a sonic extractor, and we do have the capability of doing the alcohol and the water still. So what we'll probably do is a hot water sonic extraction after we do our alcohol extraction of our material. And that's if we go into a value-added product, that's probably what we will do. We have to have some way, we're growing and selling a lot of lion's mane. We sell a lot of bulk lion's mane to people. And honestly, it might be nice to get the value add. We have super hard water in Florida. My lab is on city water. My grow is on well water. I'll RO filter the fogger water for sure. Yeah, to me, I don't know that I would do RO water, but I would at least put a water, like a carbon filter or something on. If you're using a fogger and you bought a House of Hydro one, I would definitely talk to John Broadhead of House of Hydro. And again, guys, use code Mossy if you ever buy from them. I definitely put it in the notes section. Put code Mossy in the code and in the notes section. But you might talk to John and make sure that it's safe on those units to use a hungry water source like RO water. I don't know if that might damage the discs or not, so it'd be one thing to just check. Just to make sure. All right, guys, we got to pause in the action, and I'm going to give you guys a chance to get some commercials going. Some questions going, and I'm going to play a commercial while you do it. So, be right back. And we're back. Yeah, you can definitely use a sediment filter. I would do that just, without even a question, I would use a sediment filter. However, again, if you want to, I don't think RO is a bad idea, but I think that it's a good idea to ask John before just doing it. He might know if the coating might be affected or if there'd be any other problems. So, absolutely, Marshall. Hello.
Just watching.
Okay.
Did I make you nervous?
No, I'm good. Actually, I'm lost my cursor somehow. There we go. Let's see, what you use for cleaning your grow room. What about the lab? Well, they're actually sanitizing the area right there. That is 70% isopropyl alcohol. That is what we use to clean our lab. We use bleach when we mop to clean the floor. So Samantha's usually the one that does the cleaning. She'll come in and sweep and then mop with a bleach, what is it, Samantha, a 5% bleach solution? Yep, 5% bleach solution. And then when we're cleaning our surfaces, we sanitize with alcohol. But we're not against using some soapy water and a hot rag to clean up a sugar mess or something like that if we have to. So that's really what we use that for. The grow room, we use bleach. We do not use alcohol in the grow room except when we're sanitizing the outside of the blocks right before we cut them. And then after that, we just use bleach. So bleach is the only thing that really goes inside the grow room. We do a bleach mopping and a bleach spray. We use like a pesticide sprayer with a 5% bleach solution and spray it down behind the bags, trying not to get any bleach water on the mushrooms. So thank you so much. I'm from Brazil and really appreciate your work. Absolutely. Thank you. What is the name of that bag sealer and where can you purchase it? It's an American.
His name is Timothy.
It's Timothy, Charles says. His name is Timothy, and he's unique and special. It is a. Hold on a second. Let me. What is the name of it? American what?
You asking me?
Yeah. Should be right there on that sticker.
I don't know. It's American AIE, American Impulse Explosions.
American Impulse Explosions, AIE. You can get it from pack-secure.com. Pack Secure, and the pack-secure is where I go to get it. I can get a model number put on there at some point, but actually... Do what? I can tell you. No, it's AIE. But I sent it to Nick, our mentorship from last week. So I can tell you right now, that is a impulse foot sealer model number AIE-610FDEA.
Yes.
And it is 115 volt, which is basically, might as well say 120. But American International Electric is who that stands for.
Yeah, I told you it was actually American.
No. It's American International Electric.
It says American on it just so they can pretend.
Yeah. That we have a sealer like that that they're using also in the culture lab just right over here to my left. I use that for grain spawn. It's got a 10 millimeter seal on it. It's great sealer. So, in fact, I should try to see if I can get an affiliate link with them. Let's see. We have either Sam is really short or that fella is tall. There may be a little bit of the camera working on that, but she is short and he is tall. He's taller than I am, and she is shorter than I am. So,
I'm 5'2.5".
Yeah, Samantha's 5'2" and a half. Oh, she's gonna have that half.
A half and 3/4.
Yeah. And I'm 6 foot.
3/4 of a half.
I'm 6 foot, and Charles is at least 2 inches taller than me. So there's definitely a height differential. But the fact that he's jacked also makes him look taller. Do you run more than one flush in your grow room? Happy Hollow, we do. We run usually 2 flushes, but basically a bag stays in our grow room for 4 weeks. If it's in production, it is a 4-week cycle. But somebody, Blue Ape says AIE is a good company. Been using their sealer for 3 years, no issue. Yeah, we've had that. The only time we ever have an issue, it's whenever we've got to just replace a component, which is the element or the Teflon tape, which are all really quite frankly considered consumables for the sealer. What rating do you use for your pre-filters on your laminar flow hood? So the filter they're working at right now is scrubbing the air in that room 24/7. We have an allergen filter. It's actually HEPA filter material provided by a service. Samantha, the filter guy, was that Elite Air? I think it's Elite Air. Elite Filters. Elite Filters. Do what, Charles?
It's local, so it doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's well. He's starting an online thing at some point, but
Elite Filters. We're going to get them on
Elite
the
Filters,
website.
and we're trying to. Yeah, he's going to be going on a website soon. But what they do is it's a HEPA filter material. He custom cuts you the box to fit your unit, and then we'll upgrade or switch out the material every month. I think we pay him it's like $20 and he does 4 filters. But he does that filter that they're working at right now as a pre-filter. So we have HEPA quality pre-filter, then a HEPA filter, and that is my original flow hood. So you can see why it's all dinged up. That's why it's in the production lab. And then the one to my left in the room that I'm in watching them is our culture lab, and that has a filter in the box, but then also that's ducted to the wall, and it's got a filter on the outside of the wall. The one on the outside of the wall is an allergen filter. The one in the box is a HEPA pre-filter, and then we have the just regular HEPA filtration. So that brings air. The one over here to my left, in fact, I wonder if I can. We might be able to do this, folks. Okay. You can't really see it, but there is the box. There's my filter that is pulling air from the room, from the other side of the wall, bringing it in, causing positive pressure in both labs. And then that's constantly adding triple filtered fresh air. And then the air that they're at, or the filter they're at, is constantly a 24-hour scrub of just that room. And then it leaves out the exit there and then cycles back around to the offices where the office HVAC system has HEPA filters on it as well. So we're basically constantly scrubbing the air using the office HVAC because that fan's on 24/7. Then the filters in both these rooms are on 24/7. And so we have a really high air movement system that is really highly filtered. And that's what I prefer. A lot of people like to do still rooms or like slow their air down as much as possible. I just like to just slam filtration through. In fact, we have another standalone HEPA filter under my lab desk over here that's got an ionizer. And then we have another one of those out in the office space, constantly helping to filter that air and then ionize those particles. And basically ionization charges the solids in the air and allows them, basically they're attracted to the surfaces of things. So hopefully the floor, the table, dishes, whatever, and then we can always clean the outside of this stuff. It allows us to really get everything clean. Do you keep positive or negative pressure HEPA in your lab? Positive pressure. as we just went over. I'm sure you asked that before I did. But yeah, positive pressure is absolutely the way to go in your lab, if at all possible. If not, then you're going to have to quit working more often, in my opinion, because alcohol fumes are not good for your lungs. Mussels. Someone said, mussels. But they spelled it M-U-S-S-E-L.
Tell them my Venmo handle, and if the number gets high enough.
Crap, I don't remember your Venmo handle. Charles said the shirt will come off if he gets Venmo'd enough. Samantha said, no. I'm okay letting the pimping out, Charles. Heck, I'll take a 10% sales fee, cat call fee. Why do you have such large filter patch on bags? Increased airflow or any advantage? Yeah, Praveen, that is the idea behind it is that it allows for more gas exchange and therefore a faster colonization rate. I think it'll be helpful for fruiting species of mushrooms in vitro, so something like Ganodermas, cubensis, milky mushrooms, things like that. And so I think it'll help. Thank you, Momo. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys like it. We'll hopefully add more camera angles as I can add camera mounts later and get my Wi-Fi camera system set up. Well, thanks, Metastep. I appreciate that. How much bag of bulk substrate weight and why you choose specifically that weight? Okay, Hater. So these are 12-pound bags, and they are a 65-35% split, so supplementation. So 65% hardwood fuel pellets, 35% soy hull pellets. And then this does, we add, so it's basically 5 pounds solid materials, 7 pounds water to make the 12-pound bag. And that's a little less than 60% hydration. We do it because while a lot of the industry standardizes on like 5-pound bags, or at least it did back when I first started, I moved to a 12-pound bag because I was convinced that it would cut our labor in half. And it does. It cuts your labor in half because you now, basically any calculation we do, we try to get pounds of mushrooms per man hour. I'm not as worried about like my material costs and things like that, since labor is always half or more than your total cost. And so to me, it's just a lot easier. Sorry, my brain just split up there, but that's you get it. It allows us to cut the labor in half per pound per what we were doing. My house is divided amongst itself, though. I got too many plates spinning. I worked in clean rooms, so I know for a fact laminar flow is superior to still. Yeah, it just, clean air is just so good. Do you provide an identification program? Could a mushroom be sent to you for identification? I don't do any final identification. What I do is I tell you where to look. So if you bring me something, I can be like, this looks like Pleurotus austriatus. You should compare that to this. And then I leave it up to you, just because it's a liability thing. We cannot do any real identification. We can just tell you like what we would compare it to later. So this is cool, my little bird's eye view. Yeah, absolutely, Marshall. Y'all breathe the best air possible in your office space. People feel unwell from the dingy air they have to breathe every day. We do actually. We get probably more fresh air than most people do. Though I will say, I wonder sometimes if we also get higher amounts of CO2 compared to a lot of people. This valley that we live in, the Tennessee Valley, actually kind of sits already at above what oyster mushrooms prefer as like the ideal CO2. Like the Tennessee Valley is actually already above 600 parts per million, which is getting close to causing harm to humans. And the only time I've ever noticed the CO2 actually goes down, even outside, is when a storm rolls through. So, Praveen, like you like that I'm a scientist myself sticker? Yeah, someone gave that to me. Man, did you read the words on that, or did you just notice the face? So, really enjoyed this live. I got the bell on for future lives. Absolutely, Micro. Well, we're hoping to do this show is something that we're trying to evolve. It started off, back in December, where we were just trying to have like a little play around with some of the technology and the techniques we had been learning and combining those things, which is why we've had a couple of technical difficulties before because we're learning new stuff and playing with new things. But we are. What was that, Samantha? Or were you not talking to me?
Balloon party.
Oh, balloon party.
I added way too much there.
Good. But yeah, that's what we're hoping to do is continue to evolve. Like, I want to build basically a mobile studio that allows me to travel around and get lots of cool live streams. So if Samantha and I are traveling, we'll be able to hopefully do live streams from where we're traveling. We want to do, we're going, I'll be a keynote speaker at the Oklahoma Mushroom Festival this year. I want to be able to do a live stream from Oklahoma. So, we'll set up hopefully a packable studio in the RV and take it with us. Because we'll also have a booth at the Oklahoma Mushroom Festival this year. But we're wanting the show to evolve to be highly interactive with you guys. Also to be able to bring in some short videos like we have had on a couple of past ones where we build a few video assets and have our in-house studio and then the mobile studio and be able to bring you guys some really cool stuff. Again, I'm hoping to be able to move here in a little bit out to where they're going to be doing the Thor bagger and set up real quick. Just basically set your camera up where you guys can watch us set up and then hopefully run out a bunch of blocks right there in front of you guys. So you can see how a production day works for us, which is doing the lab production. I can get distracted, yeah. He blew a kiss at the camera. But we want to be able to show you guys, how this goes, like an entire production day. So we come in, we do lab production, and then we go out and we do the dirty part, which is the Thor production to do in the blocks. So, can you ship liquid cultures up to Canada in the winter? Absolutely, Luke. You may have sent me an email, actually. I need to answer that guy. But we absolutely ship cultures all year long, pretty much everywhere. We rarely have a problem with LC shipping. If we do, it's usually because the post service actually had a problem and not us. So, and of course, if there's a problem, we can always reship. Hi there. I currently grow cubensis here in Brazil. It's legal, and I found that they really grow nice in bags. First flush, I let them top fruit. Second flush, I usually flip them upside down. Works great. Interesting. I bet you could probably just leave them alone and let them second flush where the first flush happened. And that way you don't have to do that extra work. Hello, Marcello. When will you create a beard oil infused with mushroom? Actually, that's something we were talking about. Our liquid cultures sometimes come out with just really good aromatics. And I saw that Eric Myers was actually doing an aromatic extraction of Hericium. So that'd be interesting. I got that recommendation from Alan Rockefeller. Oh, what recommendation? I may be missing something. Let me know, Metastep, what you mean by the recommendation. Great idea that will be great for the mushroom community. Well, thank you, Micro. I'm going to try and make it to OK Mushroom Festival only a couple hours away. Yeah, Mycology, you absolutely should. It was banging last year. So we went to the Georgia Mushroom Festival and the Oklahoma Mushroom Festival last year. Hoping to go to a few more this year. And I've been invited to speak at a few, so we'll see which ones I can do. But OK was just crazy. It was crazy packed, crazy busy. Every vendor, I think, just sold out of everything they had quick. The talks were great. I met a lot of really cool people that I wouldn't have normally met. And yeah, it's a fantastic thing. Plus, Georgia Mushroom Festival, I was barely recognized. went to OKC, and all of a sudden, I was being recognized on the street. It was weird. Can you please speak on how you deal with contamination in your spawn production runs and redundancies that you use to make sure that you don't miss production goals? So, Thomas, we try to keep spawn a little bit of extra spawn back. If I've got extra refrigeration space, we try to refrigerate that so that we've got extra. And then that way, if there's ever a failure, we can just run it into our little bank, pull it out, and use it. We also cook longer than most people do. We cook a 2.5 hour cycle on our grain at 15 psi, even in our 150 liter autoclaves. And while we can get away with less, we don't. We just like the safety of overcooking our grain, so to speak. We use oats so that we can cook and use and abuse, and oats really hold up well, so we don't have any problems with that. And then we don't just make one type of. If I need a white oyster, then I plant 2 or 3 white oysters. You need a pen?
Take whatever you got.
Okay. So that's basically what we do is we plant. So we have a lot of wrong arm backups right here, and you see, goodness, all that grain sitting there. We basically keep grain just sitting on the shelf, ready to inoculate. We have grain growing in all the time. You can see back there is our masters. Then this is our grain to grain shelf here, and then back there we have our orders shelf where we got a lot of stuff about to ship out. So. That isn't interesting, the dog bark. Well, Sven's going to check that out. So, he said don't worry about answering the email. That was you? Yeah, Luke, so we absolutely ship to Canada. You can order straight off the website. Anytime we do international, we offer a phytosanitary certificate so that if it gets pulled by customs, your paperwork's all correct. And we've done as much testing as we can do here in-house to make sure that you're not importing a pest or contaminant. So that is, you absolutely can order from us there. I think Canada and Mexico are the only 2 countries that can order straight off our website. Everyone else, we ship all over the world. If you guys want cultures from us and you're somewhere other than Canada, Mexico, or US, you just email us, tell us everything you want, your address you want it shipped to. We'll get you a shipping quote, and then we'll pull we'll send you a PayPal invoice, and once you pay that, we'll get it ready, start working on the paperwork, and get it shipped to you. So, snap! I don't know if it blocks addresses. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Posted hyperlink, not thinking about. Oh. No, it blocks addresses. I can't have any addresses. People putting stuff in the chat for some reason. YouTube really hates that. If you replace soy hull pellets, what would be your choice of supplement? Oat hull pellets. I prefer oat hull pellets over soy hull pellets, but soy hull pellets are the only thing I can get here local. And I was shipping in oat hull pellets, and I might again at some point. But right now, the soy is just so much cheaper because I can get it local and not have to pay shipping. Would it be better to have less or more percentage of sugar by volume by accident in your LC? By accident, have less or more sugar by volume in your LC? Just don't go above 4%. 4% seems to be it seems to cause issues once you get above 4% sugar content. And no worries, Metastep. Absolutely feel free to help people out. You'll just have to explain to him what it is and where he's got to go. YouTube, really, right now, they're trying to do everything they can to limit people from linking off of site. That's actually how Eric Myers' first channel got taken down, was he was linking in the comments off site. We're allowed to do it in the description, but anywhere else, and YouTube pretty much hates it and will punish us for it. So. Do you still soak your grains? Absolutely. We have a wagon of grain sitting right now I think being drained and getting ready to be bagged up here in a little bit. So that'll probably be the last thing that happens today. And maybe we can get that. We'll see if I've got the stamina to do a live stream that long. Hey everybody, is your bulk spawn list still current? What is your warm weather strain medley plan and change over the month as planned? Love that pearly white or anything comparable. Yeah, so right now the list is still what we're producing. We do need to change that since it's still the fall weather, but we probably are just going to switch over to our spring strains because at this point, by the time those get rolling out, it'll be spring weather. So pearly white might go on there. I know pearly white's been on before, and it seems to be really, really popular. But we have some experimental strains that will probably also go. So it's really just a kind of a question of what kind of is going to that we're wanting to produce here in the house more. There'll definitely be a Hericium of some sort. And then as far as like spring weather goes, you know, I expect to see blues and things like that. Let's see. Samantha's favorite strain is pearly white, so since it's Samantha's favorite strain, she'll probably have that included there. Looks like we got a bag that just won't seal. That happens sometimes. About the best you can do really is it'll be a vacuum pack bag. You can try to tape the hole up, but a lot of times, or seal around it, but a lot of times it just won't. What we would do is probably mix that up loosely, shelve it, and then expect it to go bad. Let's see. As far as our spring list goes, I might throw Old Road in. Old Road has been getting really popular amongst commercial growers, and it's honestly one of the best tasting oyster mushrooms I've ever had. And then we have, like I said, probably some sort of coralloides. So Tribbles has been really popular right now. We might go with another one of the new ones, or go back to a classic like our Comb Tooth or Bear's Head. All right, excuse me for that. How many generations do you try to get out of your spawn? John, for our production, none. We go one generation and done. Every grain bag that we use here in the house is usually a master. So it comes from liquid culture, and we rarely grain to grain that. The only grain to grain we do is for our bulk packs, and we do use our bulk packs a lot ourselves, which is why one of the reasons why we like to keep those in bulk and running. But other than like the 4 varieties at a time, we're not grain to graining, and even then we'll only do one generation or two. So, how long will one of those bags keep ready to inoculate shelf life wise? It depends. I mean, some of them are sealed up a little bit better, like self-sealed out of the steamer, and some are not. But last time we did a test, we pulled 10 blocks out of the pasteurizer, set them on a shelf, and I think a year later we still had 6 of them sitting on the shelf, and 4 went bad over a year. But I mean, it took, we might have lost 1 or 2 maybe in the first 6 months, and then the last 6 months we lost another 1 or 2, and then we were left with those 6. So they can last quite a long time. If you sealed it, probably even longer. But I think it's the filter patch that ends up dying off. What kind of type of sealer are we currently using? Well, I've answered this question a couple of times, but I'm happy to do it again. It is, if you go to pack-secure.com, you can search for model number AIE. That's Alpha India Echo -61 FDA. And that's the Impulse one with the Impulse foot sealer. And it's a good sealer. I've got 2 of them, and they work really, really well. I actually have one that is a foot press operated one. It is not. It's the same sealer. It just doesn't have the magnet in it. It's you do it with your foot. And I would sell that one half off right now, because I don't have a need for it anymore. Now that we've upgraded to the one with the magnet, but it would be a way to get a really nice sealer for cheap. So if you guys want it, email me and we'll see about getting it boxed up and shipped to you and all that stuff. So, where are you getting soil pellets from? Places I ask, look at you, and ask what? Places I ask, look at you, and ask what? Gotcha. Fierce. Rare. So, you guys put those in incubation? And then setting up a door?
I'm gonna go set the door.
Okay, I'll probably follow you then. So, you guys get to look at my mug.
Limp along,
Huh?
limp along like a hospital patient.
Limp along.
Yeah, you got this and that.
Oh, no, what I'll do is I'll go set this up facing you and let them watch you put stuff together.
Okay.
And then I'll bring the camera, because right now I'll just unhook everything. So, there's that. We're about to go do production, guys. So you get to stare at my face for a minute. And then, I'll plug stuff in the wall. Oh, that's a up-the-nose shot. Joe Campbell, to answer your question, I get my soy hull pellets from...
Whoever's cheapest.
Wherever's cheapest, yeah. Faithway is the company that does the milling. Mycology said, I just want to roll with Charles. This guy at Mycology Farm said, I just want to roll with Charles. So, we'll come to the October get together. I guess so. He absolutely rolled with people at the last.
Last October we had people.
Yep, we do our October Mossback Mushroom Syndicate get together. So when we do that, you should just come and play around. There'll be more than one person usually who wants to roll. So, and let's see. Let me go ahead, guys, and get some of this stuff just shifted over. If you guys have questions or anything you want to ask, you're welcome to. But for the moment, we're going to stay live and transfer over. All right. I got my cables. I don't understand why this phone continually wants to not be live. Charles looks like Luke Evans. Who the heck is Luke Evans? All right. Oh, you guys can barely see him. It's Duke. Duke is our old man. He's our ancient of days. Excuse me, Duke. I don't want to run over your paw. All right. That's the autoclave. You guys asked me something about that just a second ago. What was it? Talked about your autoclave, what brand or DOI? Oh, no, I haven't talked about the autoclave or the pasteurizer. That's our autoclave that we use for grain. That's from SH Scientific. Huh? Oh. Oh, it's right here. Got a call here if you want to grab it. Okay. All right, guys. I gotta go get camera stuff, so I'm just gonna set you over here in the corner. I think I'll be in the way there.
No.
Okay.
Here. You guys can see me
there you
getting
go.
set up. Tell you what, I'll move you. All right. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'm going to get the Thor bagger set up. Apparently all my stuff was moved.
Remind me to plug the security camera back up.
Okay. Are they? Hey, is volume on?
Yeah. Can we turn it off?
This is just gonna get loud for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Warning.
Yeah, hold on a second, guys. I'm going to mute you for a moment while the air compressor goes off. All right.
Yeah, it looks like it broke off whatever those things are. Okay. Do not hurry when you do a task. Do it the proper way.
Hazelin, can you go get me a ear splitter?
Still all the rest.
That rack. All right. Let's see why we should wait on him. How? Somebody over there's got a crush on you.
Yeah.
You see that?
Ooh.
Oh. Sam is strong. I bet she could pick you up and throw you both.
She probably could. She used to be able to pick Charles up like a little baby.
Like a little baby. That's interesting.
Where's that splitter?
It was on the table unless Mom used
Where's that splitter? Just had her go get me.
Samantha.
Let's try to get it out of the way.
Yeah, well, again,
I'm in trouble now.
always in trouble.
All right.
Always in trouble.
Charles, how many blocks are we doing? How many did you count out?
As many as there are to do.
So there should be 110,
108.
108? Okay. All right, guys. We're going to see if we can watch them do 108 blocks. So,
Thank you for your.
actually, you guys haven't been able to hear a word we've been saying. So, all right. We're back. We're back. We're live. We're doing 108 blocks.
Why does this keep getting... Oh, my God. Of course, it's my own fault. No, my fault. Why was this unplugged in the first place?
Probably something I had to do.
Probably something you did.
Oh, Samantha's on camera. I didn't even mean to have you on camera, but you were just like right on camera. Cool. All right. What, Brady?
I need to get that stuff.
You can do it after. We'll let you do it after. All right. Okay, somebody tell me, do you want video of the bagger? Like, do you want me looking over Charles's shoulder, or do you guys want to watch Samantha fold? Can someone let me know?
Tyranny of the minority. Here we
Yeah,
go.
first person to answer gets it their way.
Tyranny of the minority, right there.
Tyranny of the minority.
Squeaky ass wheel. Andrew's all about them squeaky ass wheels.
I am about them squeaky wheels.
Squeakier, the more he loves you.
Oh, countdown. The problem is there's a delay and then a delay. Bagger. Okay. They want the bagger first.
I haven't heard any Venmo chiming, so I put a shirt on.
Actually, I might be able to get both in right there.
That's
No. Samantha's off a little bit. If you were where that bag is, we can see you. He went further away. Actually, let's see. I might be able to get a better shot than this. Probably in between power sources. see the back. I'm getting you guys. I'll get back to answering questions in a minute.
Dusty ass shit.
The dust is an ingredient.
Sure is.
Okay. We'll call that good for a few, and then I'll change it back up. So. Well. All right, y'all. So if I move, you guys can see. Same with Charles at work there, and then it's gonna be loud. I was just telling them I got you in view now. So we can switch between the two, but let me go back up the chat, guys, and I'll start answering questions that I missed. Marshall, here in a minute, what I'll do is I'll move the camera around where you can see my pasteurizer. It's already full of blocks. They're making a second load that'll get basically just... Charles comes in and helps us sometimes. And so basically what we're doing is we're pre-making blocks to load into the steamer that has already just been filled. 1 second. Okay, so yeah, Charles looks like Luke Evans, Bard the Bowman, and the Hobbit. This is funny. I wonder how well a membership would work. Like if you had members that paid, say, $20 to $50 a month, and you send random strains or cultures, tinctures, etc. Actually, that's something that we're looking at doing for our Patreon. Is reworking that and having monthly orders go out again. So that's definitely something we're looking at doing. You're very welcome, Cryptonachi, for the sealer info. Am I interested and will email you? Absolutely, please do. MossCreekMushrooms@gmail.com. Hey Duke, the CEO. I love the fall multi-pack, by the way. It was all just beautiful. Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. It was some of my favorite strains. Tribbles is one of my favorite strains.
You just posted it on Instagram, right?
Uh,
Someone grew it out, ordered it, grew it out.
oh yeah, somebody just grew like a massive tribbles.
Posted on your story?
Yeah, it's on the Mossy Creek Mushrooms Instagram stories. Would you be able to show a close-up of how you have your magnetic sealer hung? It looks great. I would love to set this up in my lab. Crypto, I'll try to remember to do that at the end of the stream. We'll do that here in a little bit. It won't take these guys long. This is kind of what I wanted to show you all was they started production at 3:45. They did 108 bags. They're already done with lab, and we're going to do 108 bags here. And I wanted to show you guys how quickly we can get that done. Between having A, a good shaker, and B, Thor. And then, of course, Samantha is the reigning champion of our bag Olympics for folding bags. That's right. So if you guys want to try your luck and see how good of a bag folder you are, come to the October get-together where you can get sweetly strangled by Charles, and then Samantha can whip your ass in bag folding.
We'll 3D print you a trophy.
That's right. We'll 3D print you a trophy.
We need to get a Ben from Sporadic.
Oh, yeah. We just need to mail him his. Since he didn't take it either time. Ben's not much for trophies. Let's see. Have you or anyone had to deal with bag blowouts with sterilizing? I've seen people mitigating by putting a piece of Tyvek in the mouths of bags before rolling them up, but it's pretty time consuming. Yeah, the best thing to do is just allow your autoclave to come down slowly. If you're... like our autoclave, we have to cut it off manually or it'll release pressure at the end of the run. It's just the early model, the programming didn't work right or something like that. But we just found a way around it so we don't care. Nowadays, the ones from that JH sells from SH Scientific, they now have auto cutoffs where they'll cut off and they'll hold pressure, I think, all night. But that's what you want, is you want the bag to cool. What's happening is your bag's hot, close to its melting point, so it's soft, and then you're releasing pressure, and the bag is blowing out as it expands, right? Or stretching. You'll see it sometimes in these football-shaped bags. So that's really what you want. It's not cooling down before you open it. But yeah, I wouldn't do the Tyvek. That's very time-consuming. The best thing to do is just let things cool down a little bit slower. Find a way to cool it down. If you're working with like a Presto, you can wrap it in a towel or drape a towel over it to help slow the cooling down. Honestly, with a Presto, a lot of times I was able to bring it just right in front of the hood after it came down to pressure, and it was, as long as it came down to pressure, normally it was fine. I've seen them sealers that come with stands online. Google is amazing. Yeah, those things, they're great sealers. So, Sam is strong. I'm betting she can pick up both of you and throw you. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely strong. But
That's way too much confidence.
way too much confidence. I'll see if I can't get the camera. Since I'm on, I think I'm fully on extension cord now. I might be able to get a close-up of the material going in the bag. So, let's see. What brands and types of pellets are those? So, we're using hardwood fuel pellets from Tractor Supply. Do what? Oh, and the soy is from Faithway Mills. Hey, kitty. And we get the soy hulls. Well, they're from Faithway. We get them from our local farmers co-op. Well, actually, not even our local. The farmers co-op in the largest city next to us, the Knoxville co-op. That's one of our baggers. That's the prototype Thor that is now fiberglass and metal. So it is infinitely programmable. You can do a bag that is 0 pounds, or a bag that is 20 pounds or something like that. I mean, it's not technically infinite, I guess, but it. Yeah, I do have the back of your head. Well, you can move to the left or the right to give a view of Charles, since that's where I had set the camera up. Why don't you just come right here? Why don't you just come right here?
You have a beautiful back of head.
You do have a beautiful back of head. Anyways,
Best back of head in the room.
Definitely not a Myers bagger. Myers baggers are just too expensive for me. It's not that they're actually pretty nice machines. but they're just too tall and too expensive. Do you let the bag sit for a time before pasteurization? Not normally, but I mean these are going to sit because it's cooler weather, and because today was the day we could work with Charles, and so we have to kind of pick and choose our days when we have help. So right now they're pre-making bags. The pasteurizer that's kind of behind you guys, behind your viewpoint, is already full. My boys just refilled it, or my kids did, and then these bags right here, well, that direction, that right there, those bags will get put in the steamer in about 24 to 36 hours. And it's cool enough that I'm not worried about stuff growing in them, so I'm letting them sit.
Normally we roll them into the walk-in.
Yeah, we would normally roll them into the walk-in, but we don't have to do that this time of year. So I use no calcium source, Marcello. No, or is it Marcello or Marcello? But
Our water is
yeah, our water here is so hard that I think only Lake Malawi in Africa has harder water than us. So it's one of the reasons why whiskey is made so much in this area. Do what?
That's a silly thing to say.
I heard the tests, the reports or whatever,
I'm
but
just saying it's a silly thing to say.
I guess
As
so.
if I have any frame of reference for Lake Malawi in Africa.
It's like it's so hard that only certain species of fish will grow in it and stuff. How about this?
It's
We have
hard
so
that
much
we
calcium in our
order
water
guppies
here.
and they all die.
We have so much calcium in our water here that there are tilapia farms that set up here because of how hard the water is. John, both times John's like, it's
I'm sorry. Maybe you can look straight on that. Like right here.
And then they look at the back of my head.
You have a pretty good back of the head too.
Best backs of heads in the county.
All right, I got you guys now where you can hopefully watch Samantha's bag folding technique. And now I can go back to answering your calls, questions. Air compressor, refill time, yep. Very cool of you showing your operation. Thank you, Marshall. Got to go. Lametta Step, if you hear this, good luck to you, man. Thank you for joining us. How long are the bags? Marshall, I don't actually know the measurements on them. I have forgotten. The substrate measures somewhere around 10 inches by, what does it say? I think it's a 10 by 6 by 8 block. Something like that. But the full bag length, I'm not sure. So you're not in focus when you get...
You're not. Holy smokes. Okay. So nice straight line. And you got nice corners.
Yep.
On both sides.
So she tries. That's how Samantha measures hers. Is she gets those nice little triangles.
And then folding it.
Yep.
And that's why I don't do the folding.
So it's nice and square. And you got a nice vacuum seal in the
Yep. Is there a reason? Hold on. Having a little hard time finding info on the Oklahoma Mushroom Festival. Their website from last year is down. Oh, Crypto. Well, I know they're about to announce where it's going to be. He just sent me pictures of some places, so they're narrowing it down. Hopefully they'll have it up soon. I just drove through Knoxville 20 minutes ago. Well, heck, man, if you're heading east, that means you're probably right about my town. If you're on I-40, we're exit 417.
Come say hi on the
I guess you could come say hi on the live stream, technically. Is there a reason bags are folded to cover the patches?
Just to keep them
Yep.
dry.
It's-
So here it is, dry. And you're folding it up.
You're going to have to speak out loud at this.
Golly, this is difficult. You're folding it up against the plastic. Jeez Louise. Okay. Dry. Fold it down.
Yep.
Where
There you
it's
go.
protected against the plastic and it stays dry in the pasteurizer.
Yep. It also keeps us, like when we're unloading the steamer, we found that sometimes filter patches would stick to the bag next to them. And if they stick to themselves in the lab, that's, fine. We can be a little slow about it. But if you're trying to jerk stuff out of the steamer, it sometimes will rip that filter patch off. I have the older Thor from 2 years ago. It seems to put in way more water and pellets. They are 3/4 full XLS dash bags. You can adjust those. Typically, those older Thors have spacers in them. Yeah, little spacers that you can slide back and forth on the solids. And then the way you reduce your water is to shorten your pipe, your water pipe. Well, thank you, Variables. Would that bagger be overkill for personal use? I mean, here's the thing, man. If you can afford it, it's not overkill, right? Like, if you don't mind spending the money on it and it's not going to hurt you financially, and you want to do a lot of mushrooms for personal use, then I think the bagger is worth it. It will certainly reduces the time period that it takes to get blocks. I mean, Samantha's already got a full rack over here, and I'm not sure how much more we got to go, but they're making a lot of movement. I'm Latin, so it is something like Marcello. Okay, cool.
50.
We're at 50. All right,
So we're halfway.
halfway through already, guys. But he said, headed the other way. I live an hour west of Nashville, but I am on 40. Well, by the time you got here, the live stream might be over, so. But now you know where we're at. You need a belt drive compressor. Yeah, that actually would be really cool. I would love something quieter. You guys are a good team. Good attitudes go a long way. Makes the work so much more enjoyable. I agree. That's actually one of the reasons why we like working with Charles so much, and Samantha and I like working with each other so much. Is that?
Good team player.
Yeah. Good team. He's taking a bow. Well, I mean, it's been nice. Yes, yeah, like it's good to have a good team around you. Keeps you going. I can't watch the rest of the stream, but thank you so much for all your videos. I learned a ton of the variants. Thank you, W. You can always check it out later. It'll be on our MushRune Cast playlist. Yeah, it's just saying you can slip through. What type of music can you all agree on? Well, right now, it depends on what we're doing. Production, Charles usually DJs. When we're lifting weights, I usually DJ unless Charles gets to it first. But, let's see.
Today it's Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, today is Jimmy Buffett.
Although earlier it was some 14th century.
He said, though, yeah! Hold on. Yeah, there we go, John. Yeah, exactly. My reaction too. Next time maybe we'll put it outside or something. But where are we at here? Well, so the music. So yeah, Charles said something like 14th century, like what was that guitar? Earlier, like classical guitar.
What?
Was it classical guitar earlier?
Yeah, it was like some medieval stuff.
Yeah.
Turlo O'Carolan.
Turo O'Carolan.
Irish bard from like the 14th century.
Irish bard of like the 14th century. And then right now we're listening to Jimmy Buffett. And I mean, I think that usually.
But, you know, it was Jack Johnson and John Butler.
Yep.
It was Irish whatever. And it was, I don't know, we found something dancey the other day. I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we listened. So the other day it was Jack Johnson and
variety.
John Butler Trio, which I hadn't heard in forever. I walked
John
in.
Butler was the first time in 20 years I heard John Butler.
Yeah.
Not 20, but 10 at least.
Yeah, it was probably a decade since I'd heard John Butler too. Then as well, I think the last time I played it was when I worked at the fish hatchery, so that'd be 15. But yeah, we do that kind of stuff. Like I like rap and I like electronic music. We listen to a lot of Irish stuff and I mean like a lot of Irish and country music and. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Let's see. A well done fold is the best way to save you from blowouts. I would agree with that too. Yeah, the folds work out really well because they should release pressure, but then they'll seal.
That's what she said.
So, right? That thing is so efficient. Yeah, I agree. The bagger is efficient as heck.
They're talking about me.
Talking about you. Oh, well, Charles is also efficient. So that thing is also efficient. So somebody said I had problems with unicorn bags sticking and ripping exactly when I fold them inward like this. Maybe I was too impatient. Yeah, MP, I'm not really quite sure. I found that the tears happen more on the grain spawn bags with the 0.2 micron filter patches. Those tend to stick a lot more. So. I love medieval metal or epic rock. Yeah, John. So epic rock, I know Samantha listens to a fair amount of epic, though I think hers is more female vocals than anything. A lot of people are surprised by the music Samantha listens to sometimes because it can be quite screamy, too, and metally. Everybody's like, man, she's.
To go between like classical and metal.
See, I'm not a big classical fan, but Samantha likes classical.
I'm in love with like Tommy Prophet playlists right now.
I like listen to a lot of Wardruna. I listen to like Aesop Rock and Hail Mary Malin.
Basic rock?
Aesop Rock.
Oh, they said basic rock.
I listen to some basic rock too. Yeah, I'm real basic bitch when it comes to my rock and roll. Hey, that was great. He just like censored me. Let's see. Do you find it difficult to find customers? Not really. Not anymore. Not too bad. I would say actually our hardest part in the past has been keeping production up and keeping out of that bottleneck. So that's probably the hardest one. Are you adding hot water to the bags or letting it hit during PC? We're just letting it heat whenever it's cooking. We do have an instant hot water heater that runs off propane that I could easily add. And there are models of Thor that can handle really hot water, but I think you have to tell them specifically so they make you a special version.
Yes,
but
that is true.
That is true. Okay, awesome.
He's going to make it more standard going forward.
Okay, so Charles just said that he's going to make it more. Ben's going to start making the baggers more standard as far as the hot water goes, just making that a standard component. But it is not that way now. If you want a hot water version of Thor, like we might run lukewarm through ours, but I really wouldn't run anything hot. Some parts can melt. Yeah, like EDM Atlas. Like I love EDM. Basically, like future bass, I guess. If I had to pick a category. And no, Andrew, yeah, to dissolve the pellets, we're just letting them kind of sit. I mean, you can see right there that they're swelling up pretty quick. So, and then usually Samantha pre-folds, lets them swell up, and then folds them the rest of the way. My son and daughter's in-laws' wedding, they did Celtic music. I wanted to add in the song "Under the Scotsman's Kilt" in the tracks.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Charles said, "Yeah, I know that
He's
one."
got a blue ribbon.
He's got a blue ribbon.
Blue ribbon under his skirt.
That's right. He looks down and he's like, "I don't know where you've been, but I know you won first prize." Cobus, when we fold ours, yeah, we normally fold it with the filter patch in, just as a standard practice. So. Pigeonometry, yeah, pigeonometry is great. Aesop Rock, I liked it a lot when he was with Hail Mary Mallon, and he and Rob Sonic. But I also like some of Rob Sonic stuff.
Press
So.
the button on the right.
Let's see. Nickelback.
Do it again.
How long has Charles been mushrooming? So Charles has been, I don't know how you answer that question exactly. So Charles is one of the original creators of Mossy Creek mushrooms. So in a way, he's been mushrooming as long as I have in a business sense. He was one of the initial investors, and he was just a silent partner for some time. And then here recently, he's been around a lot more when he moved back, so he's been involved a lot more. But he's been involved in the strategic thinking and planning since the very beginning. And I would say he's probably picked up a fair amount of knowledge just from me geeking out at him about stuff. So, and then for the past while, he's been working on building the Thor. So basically, if you've gotten a Thor in the past few months, he built one. He built them until the newest ones right now. The ones that are being built now are. Yeah.
You want to see some troubleshooting?
See some troubleshooting?
Yeah.
Yeah. What camera?
It's going to happen like now. I'm
Yeah.
holding it at this point.
I guess just go ahead and do it. I don't know how to move it quick.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Right, so here.
There we go. I can see
this?
it.
Can you see where my hand is?
Yeah.
So the water was recoiling. It's probably my fault because I keep it so high because I don't like it splashing all over the place.
Okay.
But I've got block material that's become super saturated up here that had jammed up the whole thing.
Gotcha.
And this does not normally happen, actually.
We did unplug
No.
this and bleed the air out beforehand.
Yeah, he's not just sticking his hand over there. They
But the cool thing, so the trick is, yeah, I turned this all off and turned off the air so that I don't cut my fingers off.
Yep. You don't want to cut your fingers off.
Because I can tell you, I've built these things and it'll fuck you up.
It
Pardon
will.
my language.
Now, one thing to note is that this is a prototype version. We're still running off the prototype. There's now like the third variation of this that's out, and they no longer combine the water and the solid chute like they do here.
Yeah, so the new water runs from behind here.
Yeah.
Where's my hand? So this is the front. Around the back side right here, the new water comes in as a separate spout and it shoots right here.
Yep.
Instead of shooting up inside like this one does. And so that makes it a little bit less likely to create this problem. But I want to point out how easy it was just now to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing with technology. If the tool requires a specialist to troubleshoot, that's a problem.
Agreed.
Well, that said, I actually am a specialist because I can build this.
Well, that said, but even I can troubleshoot that, and I'm one of the worst people with machines. So the only thing I can't troubleshoot really is the digital timers, but those.
Well, those just require you to build stuff.
Yeah, you just. Yeah, exactly. So. Okay. So here in a second, we'll start back up, and we're going to get a close-up shot.
It's really saturated. I'm just going to get them clean so I don't get the bags on this.
There we go. All right, so we're going to attempt to get a close-up shot of the bag filling, and Samantha has got the table moved so that you guys can see a little bit better. And Charles will become Captain Hook. No, he's smarter than that, I think. So you want to move that light too, maybe? Yeah, Cobus, I turn the sound off every time the... What? You just move it?
Where?
To where it's shining on that spot. When you sat down, you created a shadow. Anyways, yeah, I turn the sound off when the air compressor fills. So. There you go. That's good. All right, so. Yeah, hot water can be a pain to bag. Yeah, sometimes it's better just to do it cold and let it sit. And vanilla ice. Hey, I actually like vanilla ice's, what is it? Ride a horse?
Save the cowboy. You talking about the
No, it's
big and rich?
no, it's he's got one just called Ride a Horse. I think it's just ride a horse, ride a horse, ride a horse, ride a pony.
Yeah, I like save a horse, ride a cowboy.
That one too. But yeah. So you guys, there you go. That was a pretty decent shot. Oh, yeah. All right.
Hold that back corner towards you. Just a step.
And then, Charles, if you can drop your right knee down for one bag.
Wish you could see my face.
Well, I can pull it back if you want. There you go. Look at that. Yeah, I'm just rolling with them. I'm just pay the difference. Running out the 500 and Samantha, you can leave that light there if you want.
Holding it up.
Okay, well you need to move it closer anyways. Take care. Hey Ben. We probably have some people interested in Thors after this, so just so you know. There's been a lot of people talking about how efficient it looks. So
I'm getting back into the building side of it.
Switch shots.
okay.
I have one that will
All right. Sounds good. And hey guys, if you end up buying a bagger off of them at Mushroom Media Online, tell them that the only reason why you're buying it is because you saw it on this live stream and to give me a commission. All right, so let's see. Can bacteria get through those patches when doing a shake and break? I'm in contamination after 2 weeks on G2, but only after shaking, and man, it sucks. So normally that means that your either your cook or your inoculant wasn't very clean. That's actually a fairly common thing that you won't see any problems until you shake, and when you shake, you see the contamination. When you upgrade your bagger, I'll come remove that version. Well, okay. Let's see. PSA, like, comment, subscribe, and like, and keep spawning culture. Yeah, thank you, Nomad. I always forget to say that. Please do like and subscribe.
Where's the up button?
You turn that, yep, and then lift it. Woo! Shaky cam. Okay, that's his. We can pop the legs too, but
You're in charge of this.
yep. Charles, are those Bugle Boy jeans you're wearing?
What?
Are they those Bugle Boy jeans?
I don't know what that is.
He said he doesn't know what that is. I don't know what that is. This is awesome. I like seeing this stuff firsthand. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I can change the camera. Yeah, the big thing really is I wanted you guys to see how fast we're able to get production done in a day. Do you boil and dry your grain before bagging it, or just ferment it overnight, bag it, and PC? I just ferment overnight and then bag it and PC. All right, let's see what I can do for you folks. Samantha's face. So pretty. Nope.
Very angry bee.
Okay. All right, so that's another view. I think I might be able to get. There we go. Well, thank you, Mycology. Yeah, it's a really sweet little system. Does fermenting increase your yields? I wouldn't say that it necessarily increases my yields, but I've noticed an improvement on my grain spawn since I've started doing the fermentation. It just always seems like everything hydrates better that way. Alright guys, I'm going to run a quick sponsor real quick, and I will be back.
Introducing the future of mycology, Dr. Silurian's Elixir of Mycelial Mastery. This isn't your average culture mix, it's a revolution in a packet, crafted for the dedicated cultivator seeking unparalleled growth. Experience the visual alchemy of this masterful brew. As you mix 10 grams with 500 milliliters of water, watch the solution transform into a rich, amber spectacle, the hallmark of a nutrient-dense sanctuary for your burgeoning mycelium. This is where vibrant color meets vibrant life, setting our elixir apart from the ordinary clear liquid cultures. Prepare to be captivated. Mix 10 grams of Dr. Silurian's elixir with 500 milliliters of water, add a stir bar for thorough integration, and sterilize the blend at 15 psi for 45 minutes. Once cooled, introduce your favorite culture into this perfectly prepared, nutrient-rich environment. Watch in awe as the elixir works its magic, unveiling a mycelial masterpiece before your eyes. Choose Dr. Silurian's Elixir of Mycelial Mastery for a mycological adventure that's as visually enchanting as it is potent.
And we're back. Yeah, I figured I'd get you guys a good bright view of the bag so that Samantha fold them in front of you. And you still got Charles in the background there so you can see how he's going, but he is filling the bagger for the moment. And yes, that's Charles commentating that ad. Huh? That is absolutely Charles's voice doing the commentary on that on the commercial. You are bagging 500. How many fit in your PC? I'm not bagging 500. We're doing 108, and 108 fit into our not our autoclave, our pasteurizer. So we have 108 that'll fit in a 300-gallon pasteurizer. In fact, I might be able to turn that around for a second. Okay, so there's the work area. Let's see.
Watch yourself.
Carefully. All right, so that is our pasteurizer with the refrigerator behind it, very redneck, and a pair of jeans on it. But that's our pasteurizer. It is a horse trough, 300-gallon horse trough, with horse stall mats wrapped around it. Goodness, it's not move. There we go.
That's what they call the Tractor Supply Special.
That's right. That's the Tractor Supply Special. It's ratchet straps holding horse stall mats around it, with horse stall mats in the bottom, and then 3 layers of blocks with a 4th layer of those other stuff. We'll cover that in plastic, and then lay more horse stall mats on top of it, and then turn our boiler on to cook everything. So, and thank you, Cobus. I appreciate it. I'm hoping that I'll get even better at making those ads. So, John said, "Nice view." Out back, yeah. That's one of the best things about this place is the location. We're really convenient to town, and yet we're hardly got any neighbors, and it's quite pleasant. That little neighborhood in the background gets cold and icy outside, and you see all the smoke coming out of the chimneys. It's a very nice view. So, all right. So, I remember you not wanting to show it a few years ago, lol. The view? Huh? The boiler. Oh, the pasteurizer in the boiler. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I still haven't shown you the boiler. It's just the I have to show you the chamber. How we get steam there is there's a boiler down over here next to the wall, which I'm not going to show this time, but we're going to be moving. We're going to be moving to an autoclave soon, anyways.
Doesn't hold pressure or anything, so it's not like.
Yeah, it doesn't hold pressure, so it's literally just some elements and some water, so and a high temperature refill valve. But again, I'm going to be moving to autoclaves, anyways. I'm thinking about one of those. Man, I felt like that was a long refill. So, anyways, we're thinking about moving to an autoclave system. I'm looking at some of the options available. I've talked to Blue Myco, and I've talked to a few people that have owned them, either own them or have owned them, and really seemed to, I think it's going to work for my op, so I might be grabbing one of those soon. If I do, I'll, of course, let everybody know, and if I like it, I may even affiliate with them, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so right now we only pasteurize, or super pasteurize. I mean, it's the temperature is at, I think for solid fermentation, it's technically at a super pasteurization level. As the steam comes out about, at our altitude, something like 209 degrees is the hottest we can get. 108, this is very species number. You should look it up. A lot of interesting info from prayer beads to the I Ching. Interesting. I have no idea anything about that. I'll have to look it up for sure. I appreciate you letting me know. Whatever happened to what? Myers and Earth Angel Mushrooms cabinet autoclave. They created one together. I don't know. I'm not sure whatever happened with it. I don't know that it ever went anywhere. I do remember this though. Now that you mentioned it, I had forgotten about it. But oh, we got like 2 bags left, maybe 3. Oh, we're in the hopper. Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Not in the hopper, not you.
Okay. Very cool. But yeah, I don't know what happened to that. Maybe they came up against the regulations to sell it, or maybe they decided it wouldn't be good business, or I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe it just wasn't functional. I'm not entirely sure. Eric's usually pretty good about designing stuff. Excuse me, guys.
You've always had.
I don't know anything about TR's design and stuff. I don't normally like his design or operations much. So, but Eric comes with pretty slick stuff, even if it is expensive. If pressure cooking, should batches be folded or in, or should they be exposed? I fold all of mine in, whether autoclaving or pasteurizing. Just always fold mine in. That's it. That's the last of it.
Yeah, it's 100. We are short on hardwood.
Oh no. Okay, well we got 100 bags out instead of 108 tonight. So we apparently ran out of hardwood. But I mean that's pretty much it. So now we got Spencer's gonna finish up the fold. And then we have cleanup. So it's you guys can see we did that pretty quick. Let's see, what time did you guys started lab production at 3:45? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3:45 and we're at 6:10 now. So that's not even 3 hours. And they did wow, that is bright. So they've done 108 through the lab and then 100 through Thor in 15, 10, so 2 hours and 25 minutes?
How long?
2 hours and 25 minutes? Oh, I can change the camera if you. There you go.
Can't I tell?
You gotta, that little knob, you gotta unscrew it to the left, and it'll loosen it. So, yeah, 112 pound bags. I mean, that's 1,200 pounds of substrate that'll has been produced, and then will go in the steamer and be cooked. So a little over half a ton.
What are you doing over there?
I think he's trying to make you in the spotlight, like literally in the spotlight. She can't, poor thing, can't stand to have attention on her.
It's because she doesn't know what it's like to have attention on her.
Oh.
Terrible.
Yeah, they made quick work of it, and I didn't do a thing. So, man, why is that camera on me? There we go. So much better. Man, you can feel the heat coming off of that thing. But yeah, that's what happens when you put your 2 most productive people on something, and then you get your least productive person managing a camera. What are you doing, Samantha? What did she do? Did she move?
I don't know.
She moved it. Oh man. Well, guys, that's pretty much it then for the show. I mean, we've gone 2 hours and 25 minutes. 2 hours and 2 minutes is how long I've been going. They've been going for longer. So tell them to watch the chat go wild whenever she walks in. Right. Well, that's exactly what happens. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there, guys. I appreciate you guys joining us for a brand new style. So,
We got the light going
thank you all for
on.
coming. Keep spawning culture, y'all.
Woo-woo.
Crap, you're right. You're right, Crypto.
God damn it.
Crypto, if you're still here, I stopped at the end of the show specifically for you because I told you I would do it. So I'm going to take you with me. You and I are going on a special adventure together. We'll call this an Easter egg for anyone who decides, anyone who just went ahead and quit.
I did it, but I had didn't have
Okay.
far enough back, so it hit the edge and just sprayed everywhere.
Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Hey man, I'm getting a lot of hearts for this. Maybe you guys like these Easter eggs. Alright, let's go get the sealer. Okay, now you all can see. There's Ancient One. Hey, Ancient One. Hello, Duke. That's Charles's dog. He is 1 year older than 1 year younger than my son, my oldest son. And they have practically been raised together. They used to. We've got all kinds of video and pictures of Collier running around as a baby, just holding on to the Duke's fur while we're out hiking and stuff. Okay. They have built a wall. They have built a wall to keep me away from the sealer. So. Okay, here we go. So this will let you get a good look at that while I move this set of shelves. Alright, so there you can see we got the 2x4, our little mushroom Buddha, good luck charm. And then this section over here is two 2x4s with this one screwed in. And now the way the sealer is attached, I'm trying not to make you guys sick, I promise. It's just like this. So it's hung, attached, and then stabilized by these little wooden washers. And then you can see right here is how that is stabilized. Attached to the back of the fan, and then these two come through to yoke this through. And this hangs. I mean, you can see it's pretty. Like I can shake it, but only by shaking the whole unit. So, and then for anyone wanting the model number. Now, I get mine from pack-secure.com. I don't have an affiliation with them. I do have a used sealer. Again, it's not this kind with the foot pedal and the magnet. It is instead like a foot pad, and you stand on it. You can still keep operating and working with it. I just don't need it anymore because it was the cheaper version, and I've upgraded to the magnetic versions. But I mean, I barely used it, and I will give somebody for hundreds of dollars off. I will sell it. But this is how I've got this one set up. And normally, I don't even use the foot pedal here. When I seal in the culture lab, I just hold it down, and then it goes through its cycle. But that's the exact same sealer as what's in the production lab, but just on its side. It's got these little rubberized feet that it stands on. And let's see. Oh, yep. Yeah. So that liquid culture, all that liquid culture, all that liquid culture, and much, much more. And don't even get me on slants yet. Oh my gosh, so many slants. Now where did I put my phone? Now let me show you one more sealer. One more sealer. Hello, Duke. Here, show you since I'm showing you the dogs. That's Truffle. And poor Truffle, she is also ancient. She is my dog, who we've had for 14 years. She's got breast cancer really bad. She is not long for this world. And there's Teddy, her son, or grandson. Teddy's her grandson. But this sealer right here is the one I'm selling. You see, it's got the stand. So this right here is the pedal that attaches down to the bottom. And then you can see this shaft when you stand on it. The shaft's what closes it. And it's got the spring so it opens back up automatically. But you guys, if you're interested in it, mosscreekmushrooms@gmail.com. Just ask me about it. Like I said, I'll give it to you for hundreds of dollars off. It'd be a good way to get a good sealer for a lot cheaper than what you would normally be able to. So hopefully that answers you guys. Hey man, yeah, Alex, if you're up in Kingsport, it means you're not far from us. Maybe an hour and a half or two. Yeah, Crypto is the one I just showed you. That's the one I'm selling, is the one up front with that stand where you stand on it. So, yeah, Truffle's the boss. Yeah, it sucks anytime a dog passes away, especially one you've had for a very long time. And Truffle's been an extraordinarily good dog. She actually retired to Samantha's grandmother's house to kind of live two old ladies together, but she's in her final days with the breast cancer. Like it's pretty rough. We're giving her, as long as she's not in pain and she's just sleeping a lot, we're allowing her to live. But day comes. So, all right, y'all. Thank you very much. Now, this time we're really ending it.